Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Hey, good morning with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. So is the Tortilla Gestapo enforcer going to be aware when the opposing team trainer or support personnel revenue saves a few and throws one at a crucial time in the game? I think this is a ridiculous thought here. Look, we just need to be responsible for our own stuff. I don't think somebody from Baylor or TCU or K-State or Kansas or Iowa State is going to come in, buy a seat, and then put on a Red Raider jersey, throw a few tortillas at a critical moment to try to get a penalty called on us.
I think the text is talking about if tortillas get onto the field, that those people then put them in their back pocket on the opposing sideline and then throw them again in a key moment for them. Which might be another reason not to throw them onto the field
in the first place, or to the sideline, right?
Yeah, that would be that would really be something if that was going on.
And kudos to them.
That would really be something.
This from
you would think if they were. I also think if it's. I think the officials are going to have the ability to use their discretion, that if it's just on the edge and it's not anywhere near anything, they're probably not going to throw a flag about it. But if it's out in the middle, and if you saw somebody, I mean, you would think that this athletic trainer would need to, pull back and throw, that people would notice. Yeah.
I do think it's going to be a point of emphasis for the officials.
Do you think?
And they're going to make an example out of somebody. This from Scott. Jamie, in agreement about alcohol consumption abuse as factors. Every game, students are arrested from a game or denied admission. Yeah,
and I'm not suggesting
too.
I'm not suggesting we take away alcohol or anything like that. I just think there are factors. Yeah.
Let's see. Nobody wants bottles thrown. That's sick. Should be punished. But there's nothing wrong with tortillas on the field, in my opinion. Well, I have a problem with tortillas on the field. I just don't think they belong on the field or the sideline. I'm with Jamie. If you want to throw them up in the air, I just think that's gone beyond that. It's about who can throw the tortilla the furthest.
And again, and if you're making them stiff so you can throw them farther, and you're icing them down and freezing so you can throw them farther, you're not trying to toss them up in the air. You're trying to toss them on the field. What they're trying to take away here is the wrong stuff. They're not trying to take away the right stuff. They're not trying to take away us tossing them up in the air in the stands. The Big 12 is saying, you can't, we got to stop the idiots. And again, it's going to take the fans having to, and I hate that we have to do it, but the fans having to police other fans.
We can't even sing the school song properly, which actually it's the fight song. What makes us think we can refrain from throwing things on the field? Preach it, Jamie. Thank you for living in the real world. Dan in Dallas weighs in. The only time that I saw it get out of hand was the Colorado game. But Colorado players were waving their hands asking for it. Well, sure. I mean, I'm sure they were full of themselves too, Hey, come on, bring it on, bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. Right?
Yeah, I have no idea. I wasn't watching how they were responding.
Yeah. You two are so soft. Go to a Premier League or Euro Soccer League match. Fans
where they trample each other and kill each other, where they execute their goalie for giving up a goal. Yeah, let's try to hold ourselves accountable to moats. Their standards.
Yeah, they build moats and then they put up nets. Fans bring all kinds of things in the stadium: streamers, smoke machines, TP, you name it. Okay, well, I don't want to be in that environment. I don't want to be in that environment. Let's see. How cool will it be when we get a 15-yard penalty? This is sarcasm. For our third tortilla hitting the field and takes us out of field goal range, and Bellefonte misses the winning field goal to put us in the Big 12 championship game. How cool will that be? But hey, we have our little tradition.
Well, we generally don't throw them when we're on offense.
Yeah.
If that happens, I'll change my opinion on the tortilla throwing.
Yeah, I don't expect that will happen. But again, I mean, if you're throwing bottles on the field, or you're throwing water bottles on the field, you're throwing beer cans or whatever on the field, anything on the field, then you deserve to get a 15-yard penalty. We deserve to get it. We deserve to get it. I mean, we had situations in basketball games last year where, because of officiating call that you didn't agree with, I say you, some fans, the idiot fans, didn't agree with, that they're throwing water bottles from the second deck of the arena. There's no reason for that. There's no reason for that.
Yeah, but let's not act like we're the first and only.
And we're not. We are not the first. We are not the only.
No. Again, idiot fans everywhere.
So it'll be interesting to see. What'll be interesting to me is how do you police it? Because now you have the athletic director saying, "Hey, it's okay to toss them up in the air, just don't toss them on the field." Because previously they really wanted this to go away. I think at some point in time, and it almost did go away, and then it got reinvigorated. So we're going to have it, and you're gonna see it. And now you just have to make the best of it and hope that it doesn't, get on the field a third time to where your team's getting a 15-yard penalty.
Yep.
And that's really the end of it. There will absolutely be opposing fans that try to get Tech in trouble. This will end up being too difficult to enforce. More fans get hit with tortillas in the stands and survive, and we aren't wearing helmets.
Survive.
No, I get it.
That's what we want our fans to have to do: survive the game.
I will tell you this: when you're not expecting it, okay, when you're not expecting, because at the opening kickoff, you expect the tortillas, right? And at certain point in times during the games, you especially early in the game when the tortillas are still more plentiful, you expect it. But when you get hit in the back of the head with a tortilla, it does make you pause. I mean, it doesn't knock you out or anything, but it does make you pause and look back behind you.
Since we are now 3 segments in, I would like to say this.
Mm-hmm.
I think San Diego State got hit in the back of the head by a 4-0 shutout by the Tech soccer team last night. So congratulations to the Tech soccer team for winning the first sporting event of the academic year for Texas Tech.
Texas Tech undefeated!
Let's go.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3. Presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Time for this day in sports history. Today is Friday, August the 15th. We're 2 weeks and a day away from football season to officially begin. Here's Jeff McGuire with this day in sports history.
Bad news, guys.
What's that?
No tortillas in this day in sports history.
Okay.
Just thought I'd let everybody know ahead of time.
Tortilla founder didn't find.
No, I don't have any. I'm looking, and there's no tortillas mentioned. I'm very sad. 1952, 19th NFL Chicago All-Star Game. Los Angeles wins over the All-Stars 10-7. There were 88,316 people in attendance for this game.
It used to be a big deal. Yeah.
1975, the Baltimore Orioles manager Earl Weaver is ejected from both games of a doubleheader against the Texas Rangers.
Nice.
1993, Nolan Ryan achieves his 324th and final victory as the Rangers defeat the Indians 4-1. 2012, Seattle Mariners' Felix Hernandez becomes the 23rd pitcher to throw a perfect game, beating the Tampa Bay Rays 1-0. He might be my favorite opposing pitcher to root for. Like, if he's on the other team, I liked when I enjoyed watching him pitch and kind of pulled for him when he wasn't pitching against the Rangers or the White Sox. And I will take 1,000 at-bats between him and Adrian Beltre right now, in a row. 2017, former Red Raider and now current Texas Ranger, Danny Colomb, enters the game in the 6th inning, faces a total of 4 batters, gets 4 outs in a 10-8 A's win over the Royals. Happy Lemon Meringue Pie Day.
I love a good lemon meringue pie. It's been quite some time since we had one at my house.
Is that a shot fired?
It's not shot fired.
Okay.
It's fact, right? If you haven't had one in a long time, somebody brings it up. Hey, when's the last time you had a lemon meringue pie at your house? Oh, I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Not that I'm keeping track or writing down dates of things. It's just been quite some time.
Before we get to today's birthdays, some key ones we want to get to for the weekend. Tomorrow, he'll be on the call. Brad Sham turned 76.
Wow.
Nice.
Somebody who will not be on the call, but it will forever, ever, ever be in our hearts. Because the man can kick a 62-yard field goal to win a game against Iowa State. Jonathan Garibay, celebrating his birthday tomorrow. He will be 26 years old.
How about that?
Moving on to Sunday, another guy forever in our hearts. Mickey Peters turns 45. And Robert Lewandowski will be 35 on Sunday. Big weekend for Red Raiders. And, Brad Sham. Today, Jennifer Lawrence is 35, Ben Affleck 53, Deborah Messing 57, and Gary Kubiak is 64. And on this day in 1969, anybody want to take a shot?
August the 15th, 1969. Nope.
I was going to guess that it was going to be August 15th.
That's funny.
You are correct, sir. Well done. Woodstock took place.
Okay.
It was a bunch of novice music producers that were trying to get a recording studio and make it an actual music venue to go to record albums with, and they were using the Woodstock Festival as a way to make money. They didn't know what they were doing, but they sure did a really good job of it when you listen get the list of headliners that were there. Jefferson Airplane, The Who, Grateful Dead, Sly and the Family Stone, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, Creedence Clearwater Revival, and many, many more all showed up for Woodstock. And it was like 5 guys that had never been music promoters before to make this happen.
I've searched for this story to see if it's true or not, and I don't know if it's true or not, but it's a great story. But apparently, Walter Cronkite doing the evening news read a story about Woodstock, and then learned from his wife that one or both of his daughters was at Woodstock, and he called up Ed Sullivan to talk to him about it. Hey, what's going on? What's going on at Woodstock?
And that is this day in sports history.
Just, one buddy calling another buddy. Ed, tell me about Woodstock. Well, it's a really big show, really big show, really big show. That's what Ed Sullivan would always say. We've got a really big show tonight, really big show. He did not care for Buddy Holly on his show, I don't think.
Oh, it's too bad.
Yeah. Going back to the college football all-star game, and I remember watching this as a kid, but the thing that's crazy is, think about this in today's world, because the last college all-star game that was played was in 1976, and generally speaking, the defending Super Bowl champion would play the college all-stars, and the college all-stars would be like household names of college football players that would be on a team. So think about where the time of year it is, August the 15th, and these college football players who are now presumably with other teams coming together and playing as a team against the defending Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, that's a little bit crazy, isn't it?
It is. I mean, and so as a result, I mean, it was for a charity. I mean, they raised money as a result of it, but still, you wouldn't see that today, because if you look at some of these MVPs just from the 70s, Ray Guy, Pat Sullivan, Larry Zonka, Bubba Smith, John Hewart back in the 60s, Billy Kilmer, who played in this game. He was a quarterback for the Redskins way back in the day. He was the backup to Sonny Jurgensen. He was also a kicker. So, and At any rate, somebody says this. I remember the All-Star games, yeah. 6:52 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app. It's presented by Happy State Bank if you would like to weigh in. I thought this was funny. People who complain about tortillas are the reason why, Jamie, there's no amusement park, zoo, aquarium, or a real water park in Lubbock. Hashtag party poopers. Hashtag 15-1.
Okay.
15-1, and it's going to be the new 4-1. Right? Hashtag 15-1. That's going to be a thing.
I don't know. I never really got behind the 4-1 thing. I don't even know what it means. If it was coming out of Chris Beard's mouth, I wasn't listening.
Okay, well that was his deal. 4-1.
Well, that's kind of what we do on occasion. Work 4-1.
Okay, that sounds like a good day.
I mean,
4 seems a little early.
I like Dolly's version better, 9 to 5. Yeah. Although sometimes I really wish she would have sung like 10 to 3.
10 to 3.
It sounds way better. Way better.
Or how about just Monday through Thursday instead? Be like.
No, I still think I really like the 10 to 3 idea better.
Okay. Yeah. 6:53 this morning here on the Morning Drive. How long does it take a drunk fan of our opponent waits until we have 2 warnings for throwing tortillas, and they throw a tortilla as soon as their team needs to be bailed out with a penalty?
Yeah, you solve it. Don't get the second warning. Yeah. Don't hit the field twice.
Let's see. Don't get ahead of ourselves. Tech is not going to be in any situation where a penalty costs them a game. Okay, well, I hope you're right on that. Right? That's positive thinking there.
Yeah, no, that's definitely positive.
Yeah.
It would be a good thing if games are so in hand that we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the whole fourth quarter, we can just be like tossing them out there. I'm not suggesting we do that.
Where did we kick from in 08 Texas? Was it the 7?
Like the 1 yard line, right?
Yeah.
We did okay there. We still win that game.
Yeah, they can only back us up so far.
Yeah.
You can only cut the distance in half so many times.
That's right.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'll bring it in here. I'll put a little barbecue sauce on it or some hot sauce, and I'll eat it right here on this very fine radio program.
I mean, usually when people make statements like this, they're like eating a bug or a rotten vegetable.
I'll just pick
You're going to eat a tortilla and act like that you're really going out there.
No, one of the nasty ones that gets thrown down. You ought to see these things. I mean, they're dirty. They've stepped on. They've been in the freezer. They've had somebody's grimy hands all over them.
Don't ever eat anything that came out of the freezer.
I'm just telling you, they're not coming out of the kitchen at Montelongo's. I'll just tell you that, okay?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
They're nasty. They're dried out, but that's what I'll do. I'll eat one of those things.
You're not just talking to us, right?
Right, I know that. Yeah.
Like, we're broadcasting this worldwide.
Sure, I know.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm highly aware.
This texter makes a good point. Those tortillas got smuggled into the stadium in someone's pants.
Yeah, I'll put them in the microwave, and make it maybe rehydrate a little bit with some water, But that's not going to happen. We're not going to need a Upton field goal to beat Pine Bluff or Kent State, for God's sake. And if we do, man, we're in sincere trouble. All right, here is Joey McGuire, who spoke yesterday to the media. He was asked after his opening statement about the rotating the snap count for his running backs, his 3 plus his freshmen.
Yeah, they'll get pretty equal snaps. I wish I could tell you off. I think Q started last week. I would bet Cam Dickey starts with the first group tomorrow. We kind of keep those guys with the 1s and 2s, and then Adam gets the bulk of the 3s, Adam Hill. That's a room that I feel, really good about, the depth and the way they're grasping the offense and how physical they are.
Jamie, It is a puzzle, right? What I mean, I buy into what you're saying, just to keep everybody happy, to keep people so that you can keep them all on the reservation. But we're getting closer and closer and closer to game time, and we're still hearing about a rotation of the three. He was asked later about, hey, you didn't bring up Jacoby Williams. And he's like, yeah, he's in that mix too. So don't feel like that he's out of that, because he's gotten a start in there too.
I think that it's you're still going to see a good rotation during the first 3 games of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get to games that really matter and games that are more difficult to win, because the first 3 really matter too, but the games that are more difficult to win, I think you're going to see Quentin Joyner get the majority of the carries.
Okay.
I don't know how
much ado about nothing.
I don't know how many different ways I can say that to you.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to ask it a different way every time so that you can say it different every time. I'm just kidding.
And I might be reading him completely wrong. I might be completely reading him wrong. And we get deep into the season and everybody's got an equal number of carries. I'll just say that will be very surprising to me if that's the case.
Yeah. Okay.
I do love this part of talking season. Because if they don't mention somebody's name, oh my God, is he still on the team?
Right.
He just didn't mention him in a press conference.
Right.
Everybody take a beat. It's fine.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the point I'm trying to make. He feels like he has to say everybody's name.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't want him to list everyone on the roster, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Signed everybody who has to edit this audio.
Yeah, he's not talking a lot about Micah Hudson. Does that mean that we think Micah Hudson is, dropping balls all over the place and not doing anything?
Yeah,
no.
Yeah.
There's a reason he's not talking about Micah Hudson. He's trying to downplay Micah Hudson, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the hype and all that last year, he's trying to do the opposite this year to see if his season can go opposite. You just got to be smart enough to read the coach. Yeah, and also learn from the way he's handled things in the past.
Coach McGuire also asked about if this scrimmage is finalizing the game prep that they'll have tomorrow night over at Jones Stadium.
I think there's still going to be some battles going on to go into that final week, but you want to be closer and closer. The guys are starting to really step up. There'll be certain positions like that running back room. If I had to put a depth chart out right here, right now, it would say or on all 3 of them. Like somebody's going to have to go out there and start, but it really doesn't matter who's out there. They all have different packages too, and how we're using them and really trying to play to their strengths. But we're getting closer and closer to where you're going to be able to put a depth chart together.
Okay. One guy that is still not back yet is Vinny Scurry. They expect him to be back to practice next week. But he's still recovering. He had an intestinal deal, and he's got some stuff going on that they're going to have to get him back into, I think, kind of game shape, Jamie, to be just quite frank about it, and get him ready for that. But Zambrano, the other offensive lineman who's been out, he is full go. So everything's good to go for him. So that was good news to hear Coach McGuire talking about that yesterday. All right, the kicking situation. Coach McGuire asked if he's decided for Upton to be his starter.
No, not really. Now, the reason I always bring Upton up is because he's done it in a game, in some serious, tough situations of game-winning field goals. Stone Arrington has had a great camp. So, again, year 4, it might be who can go out and win that job even in game situations. I feel really confident about that. And I think, man, hats off to, I've bragged on Mac on his evaluation on, Mitch in the quarterback room. I got to brag on KP and his evaluation on Ian. I think Ian has really come in and helped Jack and Stone and Upton really focus because he puts pressure on everybody. And we're not scared to put him out there in a kicking situation and or a punting situation. So I think whenever you have competition and guys are really locked in. He also does a really good job. He's got a great eye whenever they're in the room of being able to identify, like, hey, Upton, did you see where your foot is here? Or, hey, Stone. So, he could actually, if he wanted to, be a really good kicking coach whenever this is all said and done.
Does that concern you at all that the kicking situation isn't settled yet?
You would like for it to be. That definitely is the case. So I wouldn't say it makes me feel great.
Okay, and he has gone on to say that he feels like somebody will win it before the first game. So maybe that's a situation where we're going to you'll see some of that coming out of the scrimmage. That there'll be some. He did say that Upton hit a 42-yard field goal yesterday that reduced the number of gassers that they were going to have to run at the end of practice.
That's good.
So, those chaos situations that he has been liking to put the team in during this fall camp. So he came through on that one. So, and obviously you're hoping you don't need too many 42-yard field goals, especially early on, let alone a 62-yard field goal or one of those booming kicks that's going to force me to eat a nasty tortilla.
Right.
We don't want it. We don't want any of that going on.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, guys, we're talking Big 12 football today. I've told the gentlemen to look over their non-conference schedules for the Big 12. And my question for you today is just give me the 3 matchups that you're most excited to watch. Non-conference play for Big 12 teams.
Okay. I think the Baylor-Auburn game is going to be a really good matchup. So that's one for me. I think, just because it's my alma mater and it's a hated rival, it's a border war, and they've castrated that. They don't call it the border war anymore because they don't want to offend anybody. It's called the border showdown now. But KU playing at Missouri, that's one for me. And then the third one, and that's number one for me, is KU at Missouri. There was another matchup here that really kind of intrigued me. I think it was North Carolina playing somebody, but I'll go with the backyard brawl because I love that West Virginia and Pitt are playing again. So I'm going to go with 2 rivalries. Backyard brawl will be third. KU at Missouri is number 1, and then the Baylor-Auburn game is number 2 for me. Okay.
I don't know that these are the best games. I want to make that clear. I don't know that they're...
No, I'm not asking for the best. No, I'm asking for the ones you want to watch.
I'm intrigued by.
Yeah.
Baylor-Auburn, Big 12 SEC matchup. Hard not to put that on the list. Arizona State versus Mississippi State, a lot of similar reasons. Also, get a chance to look and see how good Arizona State's going to be this year. I don't... That'll be a good test to see what they look like. I'm not saying Mississippi State's a world beater, but if that game is close, I'll feel a lot better about the Arizona State game later for us in the regular season. And then, just because it'll be fun to root against them, Abilene Christian at TCU. Go Abilene Christian. Go put a whooping on somebody. And I kind of want to see that. That'd be fun.
Okay. I like both of you guys went with Baylor-Auburn. That one's high on my list, but it did not make my top 3. I think for me, I wanted to put Oregon and Oklahoma State in there, but I just feel like it's going to be a blowout. So I tend to try to pick games that I think are going to be good games and that I'm passionate about one way or the other. So I'm going to go North Carolina hosting TCU. On my list, and after that, I'm going with 2 games with SMU. They're taking on Baylor, and they're taking on TCU. There's a whole lot of dislike for me of those teams, so that makes them entertaining for me to watch.
Are you going to go pony up on that?
We'll just have to wait and see. Sometime I know that's the smart thing to do for the conference, to actually go opposite of what you just suggested, to root for Baylor and to root for TCU and not root for SMU. I know that's the smart thing to do. I'll just have to wait and see where my heart takes me.
But by rule of thumb, you don't necessarily always root for the conference, right?
No.
Yeah, and I don't either. I don't either.
And I'm also willing to change my mind during a game if something happens when it's a non-rooting injury. Like, I might walk into that game thinking I'm rooting for SMU, and then they do something, I'm like, dang it.
Yeah, like
now I got to root for the Horned Frogs.
Their quarterback or wide receiver is talking smack or whatever, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm rooting against that guy. Let's go the other team. Yep, I'm totally capable of doing that.
And I feel dirty when I do it.
I don't.
It's like I will root for Iowa State versus Iowa just because Iowa feels like they're the big brother. They always kind of pound their chest the most, and I always like it when Iowa State beats Iowa. It's not because of the conference looking better. I like Iowa getting beat up.
I just feel like you're in this mode right now that you're trying to, with the Big 12, you're actually in a position where you are competing to get into the college football playoff, right? You are actually, Texas Tech is actually in that position. So in years past, I didn't think the reputation of the league mattered that much to me because I didn't think it was going to keep Tech from getting in the playoff or getting out of the play, whatever. You understand what I'm saying? Now, now I think it's a factor because you're a better team. And so now ultimately I feel like you want the conference to look better because ultimately it may help the Red Raiders down the stretch. Whereas before, like, what's it going to matter that you're in the 6th place bowl game or the 7th place bowl game? Now it matters.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's interesting. Somebody brings up Utah and UCLA as being interesting as well. Okay.
Yep.
I agree with you on the TCU North Carolina game for so many different reasons. I mean, ACC versus Big 12. Bill Belichick, playing his first game as a college coach, and that's a Monday night game. I mean, he's not playing; he's coaching, obviously, but that's intriguing to me. I'm also I'm intrigued by the SMU thing. I heard you say yesterday you didn't think that SMU was going to be as good as they were a year ago.
No, as a matter of fact, I didn't think they were phenomenal last year. If you remember, they missed the tougher teams in the ACC. They had a kind of Indiana-esque schedule that helped them get to the playoff.
Yeah. Georgia Tech and Colorado could be interesting for Game 1 for Colorado. I am in the Cincinnati-Nebraska game, which this is so bizarre. They're playing this game in Kansas City at Arrowhead. I'm full-on rooting for Cincinnati in that game. Full-on rooting for Cincinnati. Hate Nebraska.
Hit the breaking news sounder there, Jeff.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's not breaking news. It's old news, right? I can't really say what I want to say because I'd lose my job. 7:40 this morning here on the...
They are not nice people, and they should be in the corner thinking about the bad things they have done to Chuck Heinz in the past.
I hate them.
How'd I do?
Not bad.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hey, good morning. It is the Morning Drive on Lubbock Sports Station. Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. We come to you from the First United Bank studio. I'm sounding like a broken record there for a second. Yates Flooring Center chat line is open, and the Visual Edge IT hotline is open. Do you think this tortilla talk and the rule that they've now put in place, you get 2 warnings, and then the third time we're going to send you to bed?
Wait, that's all it takes? I need some tortilla stat right now.
I think the press release I saw said 15-yard penalty.
Okay, 15-yard penalty. Okay, you can take away your beer.
I like being sent to bed better, Jamie.
Send you to bed. Okay, with no dessert. Do you think this galvanizes the Texas Tech fan base to a fervor that now those first two games become really, really interesting, especially game one. Not just because it's the first game, but now there's a purpose and a meaning, right? I expect them to announce within the next, I'll just say, this might be a bold statement preview, that by the time we get to our show on Monday morning, they will announce a sellout of the Arkansas Pine Bluff game. I got to think it was already close, but I got to think now people are like, I want to be there. I want to see the tortillas fly.
Oh, Mondelonco's is already getting some stacked up because there will be some people looking for some.
Right.
Again, everybody get your cameras ready. Game one kickoff.
Get your popcorn. Get your tortillas.
We're going to throw a little history lesson at you. FDR, in a speech to Congress, was talking about improving military preparedness, getting ready for World War II. And he said that we were going to build 100,000 bombers to blot out the sun. We built way more than 100,000 bombers, by the way. Everybody thought he was crazy. There's going to be more than 100,000 tortillas in the air. There's no doubt. People are going to be throwing up 4 at a time or 5 at a time.
Do you think? I'll say this too, because Kirby said he's going to meet with United to.
They're just going to hand out packages.
They're going to they're going to design a tortilla, okay, that is smaller.
They've already got a pretty good tortilla design.
I know. They're going to have a special.
I feel like we're reinventing the wheel.
They're going to have a Texas Tech tortilla with a double T in the middle of it, okay, and they're going to hand out 3 to a person. Okay, 2. They're going to hand out 2.
They're going
to hand out 2 because you can throw 2.
If that's the case, can somebody grab one of them for me that I can put in my memorabilia basement?
Sure, I'll grab one for you. I'll. Would you like it framed then too?
I'll do that myself.
You'll do that yourself, yeah. Okay. But do you think it's galvanized the fan base, us against the world kind of deal? Some more.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit.
I think it has.
Not that we needed it, but.
Not that we needed it.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, we've seen from the chat line today, there's plenty of disagreement and that some people think it's a stupid tradition and it should stop altogether. Other people think it's, that this is the Big 12 against Texas Tech and that they're, trying to single us out and all that kind of stuff. So it feels like there's 2 sides to this as far as the fan base goes.
I've been on record saying I don't like it. I don't like throwing things on the field. I don't like that, how it's been done. I will say, as I speak out of both sides of my mouth, I think it's kind of cool when it happens. Yet I don't like it happening all during the game. And I don't like it being thrown on the field. I don't like them being wadded up and thrown at players or personnel or coaches. I don't like this if it's trying to get onto the field itself. But I do think it's galvanizing, and I do think it'll pack the place for at least the Arkansas Pine Bluff game, because people are going to go, I think I want to be there for that. I want to make sure I'm in the stadium when that happens. Not that, I mean, the primary reason you should go to a football game is for the football game, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you're going to the sporting event to see the event, right? But I think that there's things that take place.
Is the game sold out?
No. That game has not been announced as a sellout yet.
So you think...
I think this will spur...
it's going to sell tickets.
It's going to spur extra tickets, yeah.
It's going to sell tickets.
Yeah. Somebody says, don't be a dream killer, Jamie. Chuck wants to frame it for you. No, I don't want to frame anything for Jamie, because I know he's got his own set of frames in particular and all that, which I totally embrace. I get all that. I don't want to mess up your tra-la-la. Okay, so that's okay. It's all good.
I think I have a hard time thinking that people are going to buy tickets just for this. Are people going to be paying attention on opening kickoff more? Yes, including myself.
I think maybe Maud says to Claude, "Hey, Claude, we had talked about not going to this game.
This will not be a late arriving crowd.
We're not going to Rio Dosa now. Plus it rains there all the time anyway. We're going to go to the football game. That's what Maud's going to say to Claude.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Joan's going to say to Jack.
So Maud's the tortilla thrower in the group, is what you're saying.
Maud's not throwing tortillas. No.
But you just told... You just said that Maud is going to tell Claude we're going to the game.
Maud and Claude are going to go to the game.
But you just said it was Maud that was telling Claude they were going to the game.
They're going to the game. They're going to. Somebody says this: if fans could just learn to throw the tortillas up in the air and not out on the field, plus you can recycle them for all the scoring we should be doing. I think it's a competition thing, man. I see it all the time where people are trying to get the tortilla. They're trying to see how far they can throw it like a Frisbee.
Better competition. I got it. We're going to fix this problem right now. Who can hit the press box? Or throw it into the club seats? That's harder because then you got to fight the wind.
What they should do maybe is have a student competition to see who can... throw it up as high as they can. I mean, and it sounded like to me sounds like to me now that we're in the past, because there have been times where Texas Tech has put out news releases. This has been quite some time where if you throw anything, you'll be escorted out, or if you throw tortillas, if you have tortillas, they'll be taken away from you. Kind of sounds like to me like you get to do it at least on the opening kickoff. Just don't throw them on the field.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I don't understand that where people are outraged over this whole deal.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.